the silence of the heart.
Good morning to all. How are you? How is each one? I bet in these moments, nor the midterms or prelims exams, no, for the students. And for those who are working, it's almost the end month outputs. No, so all the stress probably that we are living no, in this time. But in the midst of these tight schedules is to continuously be reminded to have those in between quality minutes with God, who is waiting and speaking to our heart through this soft whisper of a voice, as in 1 Kings 1:19. He is the one who provides our peace in the midst of our worries during the day, and to be convinced that His presence is my peace. His word is my peace. My experience and relationship with Him gives meaning in all that I am living. And in today's Gospel, we see how the Pharisees were trying to trap Jesus with this question about paying taxes. So the Gospel passage starts with, the Pharisees went off and made a plan to trap Jesus with questions. Then they sent to him some of their disciples and some members of Herod's party. Teacher, they said, we know that you tell the truth. You teach the truth about God's will for people without worrying about what others think because you pay no attention to anyone's status. So clearly, the Pharisees know and understand that Jesus teaches the truth about God's will for people without even worrying about what others think. So we see the personality of Jesus. We see how He is, how He's so much free. Jesus knows what is the best for Himself and for the people that He cares about. He has those values that has always moved His life, and one of those was to teach the truth about God's love and will, even if others don't agree with what He says, even if others don't believe in what He says and how He lived. And it is the same as well for each one of us. He believes out of love for each one. He knows that God's love and will truly sustain us, our experiences, our life. What is your experience of Jesus defending the truth of His love for you? Well, I can imagine that if He wasn't that firmly convinced and was worried about what others would say, I wouldn't have experienced how much loved I am by God Himself and how much I am saved by this love. How about us? What are we worrying about often in this moment? Like, unlike Jesus, we worry about so many things. How important is it for you, the things that you worry about right at this time? Well, being worried for something, but not always, but somehow, means that you truly care about them. When you worry about the basic necessities of the food, of work, health, of money, of studies, and many other things, they are important. Each one of us, they are important for the people that we love. We need to worry about them at times. And maybe these are our worries in this time, in this moment. And the other line that struck me in this passage was, because you pay no attention to anyone's status. It struck me the word status, no, or state. What does status or state mean? What is the most important state or status that I need to have in this time? Maybe personally, like I want to graduate, no, I want to finish, I want to do my, I want to succeed, I want to provide for my family, to be the best provider for them. I want to have that state now of a safe and healthy family. I want to serve the church. I want to serve others. I want to have that okay state and okay status according to what I think, according to what I perceive is that okay state. What is state or status that I am longing for? To ask more than to blame the world, more than to blame myself, or to demand from myself and the world, what can I do? Or what can I not do? And oftentimes worrying about this state, about this status, about what others say, we usually consume energy. What we are worried about, takes all our attention, consumes all our energy. What is taking your attention in this moment? But what can we learn from Jesus in all our worries? What is taking our attention in this time? What does He pay attention to most importantly? See that Jesus pays attention to all our needs, our material needs, but also our spiritual needs. Now, as it says in the Gospel, the Pharisees said, "Tell us then, what do you think? Is it against our law to pay taxes to the Roman emperor or not?" Jesus, however, was aware of their evil plan, and so he said, "You hypocrites, why are you trying to trap me? Show me the coin for paying the tax." They brought him the coin, and he asked them, "Whose face and name are these?" "The emperor's," they answered. So Jesus said to them, "Well then, pay to the emperor what belongs to the emperor, and pay to God what belongs to God." When they heard this, they were amazed, and they left him and went away. Pay to the emperor what belongs to the emperor, and pay to God what belongs to God. What belongs to the emperor? What belongs to my human needs, to my material needs, to the things that my flesh need, and the people that I love? And what belongs to God? Maybe I am very familiar with what the requirements of study, with what the requirements of work, or the life that I want to live and I'm living in this time. But do I have something that God seeks and longs for? In these moments, is He trying to take my attention as well? Speaking of attention, we can try to ask ourselves, how is an attentive person? And as we can observe, it's a person who takes time to listen, a person who is present and sensitive to others' words, who totally focuses on the other, when the other person is expressing or is sharing, but is also very free to speak in the right moments and in moments in a conversation. I remember one experience I have with the young people in a recollection was about love languages. And my task during that time was to make them identify what is the love language of quality time. I asked them to share a very significant experience in their lives, no by pairs, but I asked that first they will choose who will be the one to share, first to share, and the other one who will just listen and will come with me. So I asked the ones whose task was to listen, not to do it, not to listen, to ignore, to get distracted, basically not to care. But then, in the next round, I instructed the ones who experienced not being listened to, even there were some fights during that moment, mm, to listen and be attentive to the other. Be attentive to the other, even if they experience not being listened to. And in the end, I asked them, all of them in general, how do you feel when one is not fully present? Some of them expressed crying and said they were touched by the experience. And in the end, gathering all the experiences during that day, they identified through questions what was their main love language. And most of them said it was quality time. It was quality time. How much that quality time with an attentive person, that quality time with a person who listens, they need the most and they feel loved in those moments. And it's the same with us, with Jesus. How can I spend my quality time with Jesus in this day? In those moments when I feel that it's what I need. It's that love language that I need from Him. That quality time to listen to Him. That quality time to know that someone is attentive and is focused on me. Through our prayer and life of prayer is how we can spend that quality time with Him. We see how prayer orders my life, orders all my worries, my attention. That prayer, which is an encounter with Jesus. And lastly, Jesus invites us this time. Pay no attention. Pay no attention to all those other things that distract you, that doesn't give you good fruits in this moment. They look at the outward appearance, but I look at the heart. Jesus reminds us once again this gesture He has for our life, this gesture of love that He continues to give. I look at your heart. I look at your heart like no one else has ever looked. And allow Jesus to touch and speak to your heart today. In those little moments of prayer, this day, and in this week. So I invite each one to spend this quality time with this moment of silence, encountering and enjoying our moment with Jesus.
Here and now, I'm in the fire and above my head, being held under the pressure, don't know what'll be left. I'll surrender to the power of being crushed by love, till the beauty that was hidden isn't covered up. Oh, it's not what I hoped for, it's something much better. He's making diamonds, diamonds, making diamonds out of dust. He is refining, and in his timing, he's making diamonds out of us. Oh, the joy of the Lord, it will be my strength. When the pressure is on, he's making diamonds. Oh, the joy of the Lord, it will be my strength. When the pressure is on, he's making diamonds. Oh, the joy of the Lord, it will be my strength. When the pressure is on, he's making diamonds.